Hi guys, and before I get into this next video, I would like to inform you, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, go ahead and do it, and click the notification of the bell, so that way you'll be able to catch up on all my uploads on my YouTube channel. Thank you, and I hope you remember. Hello, and this is Super Hill Squad Battle Tournament. And today we have a really big one for you today. So as you probably saw, the next two fighters were revealed after the end of the first battle. This is Battle 2. Two members of the Avengers who are really good buddies, but also have better rivalry. There's not going to be any doubt that this fight will be anything different than you've seen in the movie. Iron Man, the invincible armored superhero of Marvel, and Captain America, the first Avenger and the Super Soldier. I'm your host, Joe Flash 6.7, and it is my job to talk about their story, skills, weapons, and everything to find out who would win this battle. Iron Man, the invincible armored member of the Marvel Universe, and quite a smart technician. Before then, he was just a regular guy named Anthony Stark, but he goes by the name Tony. Tony Stark was just a regular old fella who was just wandering around one day until a car accident occurred, and which really messed him up very bad, and he had to go to the hospital. And unfortunately for Tony, there was a problem. His heart monitor was completely messed up, and it really needed some repairing done. So when it had to come down to his heart almost being destroyed, he had to have some kind of device and that stuff in order to keep his heart alive. So when Tony Stark walks around in public, he always has a little bit of a device and that stuff that keeps his heart alive. And sooner or later after then, he realized that but then of course sooner or later, he would get sent away and pretty much get caught into a prison cell. Tony would be able to meet a guy that would help him figure out a way to escape. As he did, he created his very first and original Iron Man armor, which was really just shocking, at least. To see him for the very first time, all he just had was almost like fire repulsor rays, and it was completely just almost made out of metal. Iron Man was able to at least get himself out of there, but then as soon as he realized he could turn himself into something even more grateful than that, he eventually decided to upgrade armors and started creating more in order to fight crime. He fought many villains like Crimson Dynamo, and Mandarin, and many other villains that has fought Iron Man. Even fought plenty of members of the Avengers, at least. He's quite maybe one of the smartest members of the Avengers, who really sure does have a lot of unique abilities. When it comes down to Iron Man walking around with that armor, though, he really almost looks like he's a robot, but really it's just armor. He became a fan favorite, and people really started liking this man after they realized about the Stark Industries. Tony Stark became a popular guy, and people really just understood him. Mainly, they just only liked him because he was known as Iron Man. And as Iron Man is, his weapons carry a lot of things. He's got repulsor rays that could shoot out of his hands, that can nearly almost shoot like a blaster. Has them jet boots underneath that can make him fly around in public. With that, Iron Man's able to fly almost nearly as fast as you could say, I don't even know, maybe a bird, probably. Whatever, but Iron Man's got many things. He even has a repulsor ray on his chest as well that could shoot out repulsor, except it's on his chest instead of his hands. And that little chest right there is actually where his heart monitor is at, too. So with that, it represents to know that Tony's heart monitor will be right there, and to know if it'll be damaged or not. So Tony better watch out when he's fighting a crime, because his heart damage can be messed up pretty quickly. Iron Man has been able to carry so many other weapons along with his other armor, but we're just gonna stick to him being in this one, of course. Now let's just see how it goes from there. Captain America, the very first Avenger, who made his name back in Germany. He was just a regular guy named Steven Rogers, who goes by the name Steve. Steve Rogers tried to join the army one time, but although the only thing that was different about him was he was a skinny fellow. Steve was completely too slow, hardly had anything left in him to be what it takes to be a soldier. But his fighting spirit did not give up, though. While he may have not had a lot of power and that stuff, he was still smart enough to know about a lot of things. So before then, Rogers still was able to fight his way into what he needed to do to become a soldier. But until later on, he was volunteered into being experimented creating the super soldier serum. And with that, it gave him much more muscle and everything else that he needed. Gave him more strength and faster and everything. And with that, Steve Rogers would be turned into the very first super soldier. With this, until one day there was a criminal that hijacked some of the serums, and Steve Rogers would bravely go right on after him to stop him once and for all. Until then, he realized that his powers were just as good enough that he could use them to save people's lives. So as he did, he became Captain America. Now, the only thing that was different about it is when he first started out, he had a totally different shield that was just in the shape of a shield. Until then, he found a better one which was made out of adamantium, whatever. Or it's almost like that can block almost nearly a whole bunch of stuff. That shield is far more better than that. But until then, as he said, Captain America sure was able to improve himself a lot as he joined the army and became the leader as well. He became the captain of the team and really has been able to stop many foes along the way. Had many issues with so many different teams like Hydra, all them stuff, and had many battles with so many of his villains like the Red Skull, or Baron Zemo, or even the Winter Soldier himself, which was actually his former best friend, Bucky Barnes. Captain America really did prove, and actually Captain thought that his best buddy Bucky was dead, but it turned out he remained alive after the explosion, or death, whatever. Captain America sooner or later, after when he was in a plane and that stuff, he sooner or later would crash, and it would make him be passed out for almost nearly a bunch of years. Sooner or later, he was found by Nick Fury in the Shield, and would be thawed out, and then sooner or later would wake up, and then he realized he had no idea where he was at, and thought that they were his enemies. A little help of his understanding, Steve Rogers realized that this was not 1995 and that stuff. He was not back in that year. He was gone for a really long time, and there was much more to it than that. So as he became part of the Avengers. But then, as we said, and then sooner or later he'd be improving himself good enough that he became the leader of the Avengers. And most of the other teams as well. Captain America has proved himself to use his shield as a weapon. That shield is basically a weapon. It can do all sorts of things. It can throw, bash, destroy opponents. It can even, sometimes maybe even cut some robots and that stuff in half. Captain America is able to take out so many of his opponents with that shield. It's just that dang good. But will it improve himself good enough for him to help him defeat what it takes for him to defeat Iron Man? We'll find out. Alright, the two characters are set. Let's go ahead and just end this debate once and for all. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for a superhero squad battle! And of course, the rules are still just very simple. The first man to get 10 points will win.
Iron Man! Captain America! Ready. Fight! handle my biceps.
KO! Well, there wasn't a doubt that that fight was anything different. Iron Man was a lot more smarter than Cap was, and had better technology and had better weapons than even he did, because all Captain America's weapon is just a shield. But unfortunately, Cap was just a lot more better than even Iron Man even thought he was. Iron Man had way more weapons. He had rocket missiles, repulsor rays, and even had the ability to fly, which left Captain America a little bit confused on what he needed to do in order to bring Iron Man down. With the help of that, Iron Man was easily able to catch back up to him, and even able to use a super move to take him out for a little bit of a while. But until Captain America picked up the pace, as he finally was able to bring down Iron Man using his trustworthy shield and a couple of bashes, there was no doubt that Captain America was able to put himself back on the track. Both Tony and Steve both had many battles before, and there wasn't a doubt that probably neither of them probably could have walked out of here alright, but the only one of them, like I said, had the more better advantage. Captain America has fought Iron Man plenty of times and was actually able to defeat him a couple times. Captain America's only weapon may be a shield, but that shield is far more dangerous than even most other opponents would even think so. Captain America was easily able to counter and block so many of the repulsor rays from Iron Man. Until then, when Iron Man started flying around and that stuff, it left Captain America a little confused on what he needed to do. Iron Man was starting to pick up the pace where he needed once he started flying and was able to start shooting his repulsor rays a bit. And then with a little bit of his super moves, he really started getting back on track, but wasn't enough to keep Cap down. With his nice athletic abilities, with his own kind of braining and his trustworthy weapon of shield, Captain America had the advantage and was able to want to be the winner. Looked like Iron Man just was not iron enough to be the winner of this fight. This battle's winner is Captain America. And don't go away just yet, I'm about to reveal who the next fighters will be. If you want to keep in touch with all the Super Hero Squad Battle Tournament, subscribe to the channel and leave a bell and click on the bell to be notified, and you'll be notified about every video that gets uploaded on this channel. If you like this video, give a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give a thumbs down. But anyway, let's find out who the next fighters are gonna be.